word or two. Yeah,
Okay.
you better introduce her.
Do you want me to introduce you? Do you want to just say who you are?
Hey, you'd better do that.
Oh, but I don't like the red light went on.
Well, hold the thumb on it. You're supposed to be able to hold your thumb, put it in lock.
Is it working?
No, I don't see a cord on.
You did before.
What?
Well, relax.
Power's on.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing I want to know. I was telling Beth that I want to know how you can raise 14 children and never spank them and have them turn out so good. What did they do?
How do we
Thought
know?
about that?
You're not supposed to ask him yet.
Well, you were there. Well, I'm just saying, going to give them something to
Well, Howard, you could tell about the time that your dad told you you had to do something, you told him you weren't going to.
No.
Okay, so what happened?
Well, he didn't say anything. I was up laying on the couch up the stairs.
How old were you?
Oh, probably 16.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Smart aleck age.
And I'd been out collecting for the paper. And I come home and I felt that I was tired out and we had to go and shock the hay or something. Called up, Howard, you gotta go and shock the hay. I didn't answer. Howard, you gotta go and shock the hay. I said, no. And boy, he came up those steps and picked me up and set me on the floor and said, we're gonna go shock hay. And we went and shocked hay. The thing about it is, it was one of the most pleasant hay shocking ever.
So after that, he was just nice.
Oh, yeah, we just had a real good visit, you know, while we were working together.
Well, you know what Papa was. Yeah. Well, there.
So,
I'm sorry. No, the sun's not trying to help him.
well, it says record now, so maybe that
Yeah,
record
the
button.
light just came on.
Yeah, I think we're okay. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what it was. It was on record, but it was on. It is now on record. So, go ahead. Speak away.
So can you focus mostly on them? And if
That's.
I ask you a
I'm
question,
not.
don't turn it on me.
I'm not. Yes. Well, maybe. Why not? It's okay.
Because I don't want to be in it till I'm. Okay, are we ready?
Uh huh.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
This is Bob Crook. Tell us your whole name. I don't even know your middle name.
This Robert Crook.
No middle name. They ran out, huh?
Yeah, they run out of names, buddy.
Robert Crook and
Ida
no middle name.
No middle name.
Oh my goodness. Howard, do you have a middle name?
Howard Crook, no middle name.
They got down as far as that, and they just run out of names, that's all.
I never did know that. Okay, then.
I was named after one of Royal's school chums that he had in school. That's where Ida came from.
And it's a lovely name.
I was named after Uncle Robert Lindsay,
Oh, were you?
Mother's brother, I think, wasn't it?
No, it's
Uncle
Uncle.
Robert.
Oh, and who, were you named after anyone, Howard?
Yeah, the parlor stove.
You're right.
I don't know that it's actually what they did, but that was the name of the stove we had
I
in the parlor.
remember that. I didn't.
I do remember we used to talk about it.
Yeah, they kidded me about being named after the potbelly stove. So.
They're the three remaining children of Fred and Minnie Crook. And we're just going to hear what it was like to be a kid in Heber, Utah.
Well, I just can't remember anything special except that we had a good home life, and I remember there were a lot of us. Our oldest sister died in about 1930 something. They come to live with us, and my brother Floyd and his wife Grace and their daughter Eloise came in from Chicago. This was in the Depression, and Mom and Dad fed 13 of us around the table every day, and I'm just Ida and Grace and our sister Grace, and of course sister-in-law Grace. She was there, but they had to set the table and do a lot of things around there, but it was just, never ever did go hungry.
Everybody eat breakfast at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had prayer before breakfast too, always. We knelt down
And
and
prayer
had
Turn
before-
the chairs around.
And Grace and I were the ones that had to set the table, and then after the meal was over, why we had to clear the table and wash the dishes in the pantry and just put them away. And then
we
we
had-
always swept the floor too. I can remember the floor was always swept.
We had to help with the dishes quite a bit.
The one thing that I might say, I had the job, we had a table that pushed up against one wall, and it had several boards to be put in it to seat the, Bob said 13, I said 14. But it was my job to pull the table out and put the boards in.
So you had two tables?
No.
No,
Oh, it was one table.
One table,
and
You
those
put
were-
leaves in it every time you ate.
How many leaves were there, Howard?
There must be.
well, at least 4, and I think there might have been 5 or 6, I don't know. There was a lot of them. And they were, they stood in the cellarway going down to the cellar. And they, on the top step, they were stacked there, so they get them out of the way.
Were all 13 chairs in the kitchen?
Oh, yes, all around the table.
Or
Well,
when you weren't eating?
no, we had to bring
Oh,
some
no,
up
we
in
had-
the dining room.
We had a dining room and had chairs.
Where did the food come from? Did they buy it or grow it or all that food you ate?
We had a big garden. My dad, for a long time, we had pretty near a city block full of garden. Well, maybe not hardly a city block, but we had a big garden behind the house and west of the house. And then Dad owned half a city block just west of us down. And we had, that was all in produce of some sort. Just had all kinds of vegetables and
We
potatoes.
didn't have to buy the sugar and the flour we got from the wheat. We had
Take-
wheat that was put in the granger, you know, and when we needed flour, why, it was taken up to the flour mill and put in a bin, and we'd go around the flour mill somewhere or other, I can't remember that, but get the flour, and that's the way we got our flour.
Well, we grew the wheat also.
Yeah, we grew the wheat.
And out in the field, we had to farm out south of Heber City about a mile. Had, I don't remember, upwards of 80, 90 acres, wasn't it, Howard?
Oh, yeah, it was in three
Different places.
different
4 different places.
places.
Did they have names? Seems like Dad used to say they worked to the north field.
Oh, we had
that one beside.
Oh,
The north
that was-
field and the south field. We did have the north and south
We
field.
we had the South 20 and the,
Dixon Place.
you know, I didn't remember the Dixon being called that. And then we had 12 acres down in a plot that Grandpa Crook had owned and had deeded it to his sons. And we had 12 acres. Uncle Heber had a little piece, half a dozen acres, and Uncle Tom had some. And we run most all of that. Uncle John's was across the road that went down to Charleston, but all of the boys had the part of the old
All the
Crook
sons
farm.
of all the uncles, or just mostly
Just the
you guys?
brothers of Dad. And that part of that farm, I think now, is the part of the airport in Heber City. It's down on the Charleston Road,
Yeah,
going towards Charleston.
Mm.
Tell about how you earned money for the 4th of July, Howard.
yeah, we had this big garden, and we had to get that weeded by the 4th of July, and we were paid so much a roll for weeding it, and so that's the way we got our money to go to town and buy Mother Goose popcorn and ice cream cone and
Maybe a firecracker.
firecracker.
And speaking of fixing these meals, I can remember Grace and I used to have to, when the peas were on, we'd have to go and pick a 5-gallon bucket full of peas and shell them before we had them cooked.
Yeah,
Five, yeah, that's a lot
always
of
had
peas.
plenty to eat.
the thing about that, sometimes the whole family would get
Oh,
together
yeah.
and shell the peas, and Dad always wanted it to be a contest.
Oh,
He had to have, see who could shell the most or the fastest.
who was the fastest?
I'd forgotten
I don't
that.
know.
I don't ever remember that.
Don't see, oh, I do. I can remember Dad saying, okay, let's see who can do it the fastest.
Tell me.
I remember our brother Lindsay Crook, one time came and gave us, all us kids, 30, 40 cents for 4th of July one time, and boy, we were really on cloud nine.
Another interesting thing about that, Dad owned shares in the Heber City Exchange. And each one of us would get, just before Christmas, we'd get a coupon book with the dividends. Apparently it was all in our names, you know.
And it was, the exchange was like a general store, a
Yeah.
department store?
Yeah, that was a department store.
So in the northeast corner of Main Street.
And,
Bib overalls were $1, right?
yeah,
I think
I
we
remember
got
my-
60 cents.
Oh, my gosh.
yeah, a pair of shoes that cost over $2 was a luxury
Robbery.
for sure.
I still think we ought to mention how we got our meat.
Oh, your meat?
Uh,
Oh, how did you get your meat?
Yeah. Well, they raised pigs, and we always had pig Hanson come and skin the pig and help cut it up, or I don't know whether
He
we
would come
really
and
cut it up or
He
not.
would
did we?
slaughter it
Each
and
slaughter.
clean it off and remove the entrails and all that.
And then did he get some of the meat for his
No,
work?
no,
I
we
paid
haven't
him,
paid
I
him.
think.
Oh, you just paid him.
Just paid him for doing
And they
it.
called him Pig.
Yeah, I don't know what
Oh,
his
my
name
God.
I
was.
don't even know what his
I
name
think
was.
his name was Johnny Hanson.
Johnny, I
Was
believe.
it Johnny Hanson?
And the pigs were right in behind the house you had a barn, and what was that called? Just
Well, the barnyard.
The backyard.
the barnyard, yeah.
It started out with the garage was right next to the lawn, west of the house. And then for a long time there was a little space, and then there was the chicken coop.
Uh-huh.
And
Remember that.
then there was a shed
The granary.
against the granary.
Big granary.
And then an open shed where we put the equipment and whatnot.
Mhm.
And then came the barn and the corrals. They were on the west end of the,
Well, just to the extreme west end of this one shed is where we had our pig pen.
Oh, there's
that-
pig pen besides.
Oh, yeah, that pig pen was at the far west end of that shed. And by the way, the normal size of a butcher pig was 200 pounds. But ours were a lot bigger than that, because when we would butcher the pig just before Thanksgiving always,
Just before Christmas.
because we had to have it cold so that the meat would keep, you know.
Where did you keep it?
Well, we just hang it after it was killed, while we'd string it up and until it got good and cold, and the weather was cold, and then we would cut it up, and remember taking it in the house and getting the wash, what do they call it, where they put the wash tubs,
Uh-huh.
and I can still see Dad actually cutting it up, and Dan got Morton's salt
Uh-huh.
and would rub it into the bacons and the hams to cure them.
That's how we cured them.
And then where did you keep them after that? Did you have to eat them before too long?
No.
We keep
Well-
them down in the basement. After they were cured, they wouldn't spoil.
It take a
Oh,
long time.
really? You don't?
No.
Oh.
And then another interesting thing about that is that Mom would boil the head
Mm.
and take the meat, and it had a gelatin-like material with it, and she would make head cheese. She'd put that in a dish pan and put it in their closet, clothes closet, because that was cold.
Oh,
And they didn't ever have the heat there. They kept the door closed.
it didn't even have to be frozen as long as it was
No.
cold.
No, it just kept
Ooh,
getting
it was
cold.
good.
And what was it like? Well, how did you
Oh,
eat
haven't you
cheese?
ever heard of head and cheese?
I've heard of it, but never eaten
Oh, oh.
it. Did you slice it, or did you make sandwiches?
Yeah, sliced it and,
Eat it with mustard.
uh,
All mixed their own mustard.
It was full of this gluten which would hold it together and
But-
all the meat in there. And, you know, that was a kind of a treat for us for a few weeks after Christmas.
Oh,
then there was a time when Papa had the sheep and we would have mutton occasionally too, that they'd do the same with the mutton.
I remember
So
Dad,
that's how we got our meat.
I remember Dad, he hated to have to go down and kill the
Kill the
old ewe to slaughter it so he could have something to eat.
I remember
Why?
that
Just-
too.
Oh, he
He
did.
just couldn't do
soft-hearted?
it. Yeah,
oh.
he just couldn't do it. We had a veal once in a while, not very often, but we'd raise a calf. And we always had a herd
Chicken.
of cows. Oh yeah, and we had chicken always.
And you
So
milk
that was our
cows?
meat.
You milk
Did you
cows.
sell milk, or just have it for your family?
We sold it to the Heber, did they call it the Heber City Creamery?
They called it creamery, I don't remember what
It was just the creamery, and we'd sell the whole milk there, and they made cheese.
Oh, what time did you get up in the morning?
Oh, as late as we could possibly do it.
Some things never change.
I had, one thing I do remember that I used to get up kind of early. I don't remember who milked the cows in the morning, whether, but I did for years going through high school. I had to come home and milk the cows after, before.
But somebody else did it in the morning.
Well, I don't remember what happened.
You don't remember either?
We had to do it once in a while, but apparently, well, we had to do it because it had to be done.
Yeah.
If Dad didn't do it,
He didn't.
well, he would help, but he rarely milked.
You have to milk those cows twice a day.
Did Grandma milk?
No,
No,
She never did.
no, and neither did Gracer. I had to do anything on the farm.
There weren't enough
You
us
were
boys
out.
around to do that.
you know, when you consider that we had 6 boys graduate from high school in 5 years, there was enough boys to do the milking.
Yeah.
Who were the 6 boys?
Well, there was Bill and Bob and I, and Bill Buys and Fred, or now Carl Buys and Lynn Buys,
All graduated
within 5 years.
oh my.
First was Bill, then Billy,
Mm-hmm.
then Bob, then Fred, and then Lynn and I graduated the same year.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
Grace and I had to iron all the shirts.
How many
Well,
shirts?
Plenty.
Well,
You don't remember how
I
many?
remember
I
over
don't
20.
remember, but there was a lot.
More than 20.
I can remember Mom counting 22 shirts on the line.
Oh, but she only washed once a week.
Yeah.
And that wasn't perma-press.
Every Monday morning at about 5 o'clock, Mother had the water on the stove. You had to heat the water on the stove, most of it, for the washing, and you get up and get that going. And when we come downstairs, why, the washing was pretty well along. But it was every Monday morning.
And what kind of a wash? It seems like Dad said it was something that you cranked and it
No.
would turn, or what?
I never remember that. We
I
always
don't
had
either.
an electric.
Oh, she had an electric ringer
okay.
washer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Twin tub.
It was an old washer that, it wasn't like a new Maytag by any means.
No.
Oh, you had the rinse tub, you had the
Yeah,
wash,
had
you
a
run it through the
wringer.
I
wringer
remember
into the
that.
rinse tubs.
And she had two rinse tubs. There's one with just the plain water and the other with bluing
Mm-hmm.
in it.
Yeah, my mother even did that.
Mhm.
But it seems like he said before they had electricity that there was something that you'd have to,
Oh,
and that would turn the ringers, this thing, but it had to be
No,
manually. back
Maybe
and forth.
maybe your dad was older than us. And
Well,
he
he
got it before we
was,
got
he
to-
was, and I didn't listen like I should.
we did have a hand wringer, the early one.
Yeah.
It was an electric washer, but it did have a hand wringer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
So
was
maybe
when
that's what he's.
Yeah, that-
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Noah Giles just walked down the street They had a washer that was manual. And it had a handle on the side. You
Had to
put
go
it back
back
and forth and it made the dasher go.
I thought that's what Dad said. Maybe they had one for a little while.
They probably did. I can remember the washer, when it was really new, we were all thrilled about it. And I can't remember what they had before.
Tell us about canning. She had to bottle a lot of things, didn't she? Did you? Was it just the lady thing, the grandma and the girls that did the canning?
Well, our aunts were really good to come and help. And you know, Papa used to take the wagon down to Provo and get all the fruit at once. He'd get the peaches and the tomatoes and bring them home, and it had to be done, all those things. And cantaloupe.
Yeah, the only thing that he didn't have to do immediately were pears.
Yeah.
They went under the bed upstairs.
Yeah, on the quilt and covered up till they got right.
The last time I remember, I went down with Dad, we had, I don't know whether it was an old sedan, I don't know,
It was a little Buick, you know.
Buick, something, maybe we'd take the back seat out and we'd go down to Dad's cousin, I think it was, named
Yes,
Carol.
Carol.
George Carroll.
And we'd load that up with fruit and bring it back.
So you, how long would it
About
take
14.
you? 4 or 5 days, long, hard days to get it all done?
I can't remember how long it took, but we just did it as fast
Till
as
it was done.
had to be done. And, but I know Mama's sisters always, Aunt Mag and Aunt Jean and Aunt Jean, them, when she'd go help them when they had to have it done, you know, but they always came and helped too, and that was a big deal.
So, you know, he had to bottle the green beans,
The peas.
and the peas.
Did the boys ever help? Did you ever help break beans?
Oh, yeah.
They had a pressure cooker too, eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've got that pressure cooker downstairs.
We still use that pressure cooker.
Oh, really?
Now,
It was a big one.
Royal,
Has the things that you twisted this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still use that.
Yeah.
Royal and Wilmouth gave us that pressure cooker, as I recall, it was about 1932 was the first time we had the pressure cooker.
I don't remember that.
But anyway, we still have the cooker, and we had the canning, we could buy cans then from the canneries so that we could, we'd go get the lids and the can, and then we had the sealer.
Right there at your home?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I remember that.
And we had the sealer along with the canner, but our boys, Tom and James down in Arizona, they wanted to, and so I let them have the sealer because we couldn't buy cans up here. I don't know if they ever used it or not.
There's another thing about the food, I remember Mom drying the sweet corn.
Oh,
You put it in a flour sack.
how did you dry it?
Well, she put it in a flour sack and
Cut
she
it
brought,
off the cob.
you just slice it off the cob, put it in the bag, and she mixed it with some Lydia Pinkins or something, and take it out, and she'd sew the sack shut on so it was closed at both ends, and she'd go out to the clothesline and put half of it in one end and half the other and hang it over the clothesline.
Oh my gosh, what's Lydia Pinkham?
Time we went
Oh, I
by,
don't know.
we
A flavoring of some kind?
Preservative, I guess.
Oh.
But you go by and you'd have to go, every time you go by it, why, we were
Shake it.
expected to put our hand under and shake the stuff up. So.
that was good corn.
Did you just eat it dry?
Oh,
No, cooked
no.
it.
No, you cooked it.
So she cooked it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it really had a
It's got a
flavor.
special flavor. Mother, have we got any of that left here?
I don't know. but
Yeah,
we
my
did.
dad used to do
We've
it.
got a
for
dryer here,
years.
and we dried a lot of corn while we were out in Rollins, Wyoming.
Grandma, I remember my mother saying Grandma really could make good vegetables. You know, most of it's just open a can and dump it on.
Yeah.
But she really could, with just a little flat milk and salt and pepper and things, really make good little salads and vegetables.
That makes me think, we were talking about yesterday of the wheat, that we used to boil the wheat,
Uh-huh.
and have it for breakfast, and Mama would put the milk on and sweeten it, and mix it with the wheat.
Thicken it
and
just
it's
a
called
little.
Frumity.
Oh,
It's a good breakfast.
I was going to ask you what you had for breakfast.
Well, that's
It was
Usually
either,
Frumity?
it was cooked cereal, or this Frumity was something extra special.
Oh,
We'd only do it in the winter time because they took a pretty good pot full of wheat, you know, and one, it would last for several meals, but then, as I recall, they'd put it out on their front porch, or out on their porch in the wintertime so it'd keep cold, you know.
uh-huh,
But that was our special breakfast when we had Frumity.
uh-huh. So usually hot cereal and milk.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have toast or?
No, mostly germade.
Oh,
Oh.
that's right, I couldn't remember
Mostly
that.
germade. See, when we take the wheat, we take a wagon load of wheat to the flour mill, and we would dump it in a chute. Outside, we'd just drive right along and dump it in, and then it would go in and be milled. And then we would get the flour and the bran and shorts and haul it back home. And we had a huge flour bin down in our cellar.
Yeah.
It would hold probably,
400 or 500 pounds.
oh yeah.
You never got
I bet
weevil in it or
1,000 pounds.
anything?
Never, I can't remember ever having it spoiled.
So we would have that, and we'd put it in the sacks, you know, 50-pound bags.
How much bread did Grandma make? Did she always bake bread?
Yes,
Oh,
she
you
did.
bet.
Was it like every other day or?
About
She'd
every
make
other
about
day.
8 loaves 2 or 3 times a week, anyway.
And if Grace and I were out late, why, Mom would have the flour and everything all ready, and we'd mix it at night, and then it'd be ready for her to.
By the yeast would work on
I
it,
can
dry.
remember one pan had 6 loaves in it.
Oh, they're all in one piece?
Yeah, I know.
Not one piece. They were actual loaves. They'd
Yeah.
pull apart, but you could get
Oh.
6 loaves. Had a dipper, I think they
Now,
call
they'd
it.
make the loaves, she'd put them
And
together.
then they'd pull apart.
I think that was
So
about
it didn't
every
have
other
crust
day.
on all 4 sides, right?
You'd have, that's right, you'd have crusts on 2 sides
In the top.
of, on the top, except the middle loaves. And the middle loaves would only have the crust on the end and on the top, on one end and on the top.
I wonder why they don't do that anymore. Nobody likes crust.
No, nobody but me.
That's the
I
best
do.
part of the
That's
bread.
the thing I like best about bread.
Oh. So you had breakfast, hot cereal, and then what did you do? Let's say it was during the school year. Did y'all did you help with the chores and then eat and then go to school?
Yeah, if we had chores to do, we,
Yeah,
They
we
were
had,
usually done before.
I had to see that the wood box and the coal buckets were full, and then we had to milk the cows, and I don't remember who milked them in the morning, but I remember I had to come home and milk them at night all the time.
And no milkers. That was my handy
Oh, yeah.
cow.
Oh, yes.
How many cows?
How many?
oh, I think we always had at least 6 and 6 to 10.
That's about how much the stable would hold.
And
Yeah.
we had a churn too, that we put the milk in and got our cream, you know.
Oh, this is interesting too, I think. Churn, I spent a lot of time turning a churn. And,
An old wooden churn.
and Mom went to the newspaper, the print store, and got waxed paper. And she had on the thing, it had a picture of a cow and stuff on it. And it had Minnie M. Crook
Oh.
written on it. And we'd take that to the store and exchange for groceries.
Oh.
And they would sell the stuff. Several people did it, and you could go and if you wanted Minnie Crook butter, why, you bought Minnie Crook butter. If you wanted somebody else's,
Oh.
I don't remember that.
don't you? Oh, I do. Right.
And hers was the best, of course.
Oh, naturally. She had a thing that she pressed it into.
She had a mold.
Mm-hmm.
And that would hold a pound.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'd put it in and punch it out and wrap it up.
Did you drink the buttermilk?
I never did go much for
That wasn't
buttermilk.
one of my
So
favorites.
did she end up giving a lot to the pigs, maybe?
Oh, yeah, that's big. Oh, another thing that we ate that I've never heard anybody, we grew on that half block up the west, often a large patch of blue imperial peas. Well, these are peas that you dried, you know, for a split pea soup
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah,
And
I kind of forgot about
you remember, I can see Dad, I don't know if he did it very often, but we had a special type machine that I never saw anyplace else. It had a hopper on it and a treadle, and it had a belt that run under the hopper, and this treadle would turn the belt. And Dad, and I don't know whether you ever did it or not either,
No,
He
I
would-
do so.
he would treadle this thing and it would move the belt, then you could pick all of the bad stuff out
Mm-hmm.
and throw it in a sack on the side, and in the belt, he had a sack at the end, and as he'd go, it would run the peas down into the sack,
All cleaned up.
all cleaned up.
These peas were, you'd cook them, you know, just like beans, or you'd cook them that way and just have.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just a lot like split peas are
Yeah,
now.
split
You
peas.
buy
With some salt
them.
pork.
These weren't split.
Now,
No, these weren't split, but it's that same idea.
but you flavor them with bacon or ham,
Mm-hmm.
good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your grandmas and grandpas. Were they still around when you were kids enough to remember?
Well, I remember, my only one of my earliest reflections is Grandpa Crook. And we went down to his house one time in the evening, and we went into where he was, and he was sitting on a table, sitting on a chair on a table, up close to the light. The only electricity he had was just a bulb in the top of the...
Just had a wire down with one bulb.
And he was sitting on that chair on the table, reading.
Because he wanted to be by the light?
Well, he had to go out.
Keep it alive.
how
It's
he
green.
He must have been pretty agile. How old would he have been?
He must have been 88 or 89.
Gosh.
But that's that's my only
I
recollection of
remember
Grandpa
that so well too.
So it wasn't just once, it was when you went to see him often.
No, that's the only I only
That's the
saw him
one time
once.
I can remember.
Did he live alone? Did his wife die, or I remember my dad talking
yes,
about
she
his grandpa
died quite
Chris, but
early.
never his grandma.
She was very young when she died.
She was only in her 50s
In her
when she died.
50s.
What happened?
And I had stroke. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, she had a stroke.
And he never remarried
No, but Mom and Dad went to live with them, you know, that, they
while they
lived,
were building the house.
they lived with Grandpa for
Up
years.
until about 19, when did they move into house 05, 07, or 08 when they moved in?
Grace was born when they were there, I know.
So was my dad, was born in that
Yeah.
house.
You see, Dad, I think, was made bishop in 1903, and he wasn't living in the ward then, so it was finished sometime after 1903.
And how long was he bishop?
28
28
years.
years to the day, I think they said that
Yeah.
that he was released on the very same day, 28
that's
years
amazing.
later.
Oh,
Now I'm living back in the Heber 3rd Ward.
Are you?
Bishop.
Different meeting house.
Yeah, different meeting
but
house.
it's still the same ward.
You know, this is an interesting thing. They always referred to the place as the meeting house. It was never the church. It was the meeting house. And to me, I think it should still be the same way, because it reminds me of the little girl they were holding family home evening. And they asked this little girl to offer the prayer, family home evening, and she says, I know that this house is true. He says, what do you mean you know this house is true? He said, we're not in the church. So, you see, to make a distinction between the church is the gospel. It isn't a house.
And you're right.
So, I remember Dad talking at times and saying, this is not the church, this is the meeting house.
Right, the church is the gospel.
Never thought about that.
That you
Tell
go-
about your mom when your dad was on his mission and what she did.
We don't remember that.
Well,
Howard does.
No, I don't remember it, except they're
Grandma
telling.
told it to us a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, see, they sent Dad on a mission when he had,
Royal was born one day while he was
they
on.
had at least 3 or 4.
I
She
think.
Yeah.
told me she had 3 children.
this Velma and Lynn and Floyd while he was on the mission. And, she milked cows. She had 2 or 3 cows to milk. And I remember her, or probably in Dad's journal, a letter that Mom wrote telling about how much of a struggle she was having making ends meet. But she said that she sold sold a pig for $6 or something, and then she told what she bought with the $6. I mean, clothes and all kinds of stuff that she bought with this $6. But this might be an interesting thing too. Mom hadn't even been baptized until just before they were married. Grandpa Lindsay got upset with the church over a water squabble they had. And so he didn't have
None of his
none of his children baptized right off. And so after they were married, and he was called on a mission, she had 3 kids. And Dad would write to her and tell her to pay her tithing. And Mom, I guess, said, pay your tithing, I can't get enough money to keep things going as it is. And Dad insisted that she pay her tithing, that she'd be blessed.
Did she have to send him money every month besides?
Well, we don't know how, I don't know how she was financed.
But anyway,
Say Grandpa Crook was there with Grandma
Uh-huh.
in the same house.
you never heard a stronger testimony of tithing than Mom gave.
No, that's one thing I remember about her.
She-
That's when she was converted to tithing because she paid it.
That's right, she paid it
And
when
it all
she had
worked out.
nothing, and she said from that time on, she had no problems.
Even the eggs that she took to the store, everything, she
In
paid
fact,
it.
tell what she did was just before he came home.
Just before he
She
came.
told me that she had enough money before he came home, that she papered and painted the house so that it'd be nice when he came home after all this struggling, and I thought that was so neat.
Now, that was Grandpa's house.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
About Grandpa Lindsay's family, Uncle Bennett was one of the younger ones of the family, wasn't he?
How many
Yeah.
children did they have?
I don't know.
There's 7 girls and
7
2 boys.
girls and
There's
2
not.
boys.
Well, anyway, Uncle Bennett was one of the younger ones, and his son Ben stopped by here about 2 or 3 months ago, and he told us this, and I didn't know that. He says that Uncle Bennett, to go to high school, he had to go about 5 miles up to Center Creek where he lived, and so he come and stayed with Mom and Dad to go to high school. And he says it was while he was with Uncle Fred and Aunt Min that he got interested in the church, and that's where he got his teachings of the gospel, and where he joined the church. And he attributed that to Uncle Fred and Aunt Min, and that was just really an interesting.
And he was really a good member of the church.
Yeah, he and Mom really were the only 2 that were active
Yeah.
as
Ever,
young people.
Ever?
Oh, they were all baptized eventually, but most of them were 70 years old.
Oh.
Hmm.
Tell about, it seems like my dad said at the funeral, somebody said that every time he went past the house, he could set his watch because the Crooks were having prayer.
Well, we had prayer
Remember that? You
every
don't?
morning and evening.
Well,
Yeah.
He said he knew he was on time for work if the Crooks were praying because it never varied. And he would, if they were up and about, he was late.
I didn't
That was how
remember-
regular it was.
I didn't remember the punctuality.
I don't either, but I know
We had
we
it.
did it every morning and night, and we knelt down, too.
We
Knelt by
down
our
at the
chairs.
table.
Yeah, in fact, I remember when Grandpa was really sick, and he always wanted to kneel down, and Grandma'd argue with him because they couldn't get him back up. But he was so entrenched with the habit of kneeling. I was really impressed with
You can
that.
remember Grandpa then.
Oh, yeah.
He died in 52, as I remember.
Yeah, I was a teenager. I remember
Right.
Grandpa. Tell us about the Depression. Was somebody going to...
Yeah, I've been talking to Ida about this, and the Depression, to me at least, and I don't think it, Ida, it was,
Wasn't me, I
there's
know, I never felt it.
we never felt the Depression because of all of the produce we all grew, and Dad had the farm, and most of us kids had paper routes.
How many years did the Crooks have that paper route?
Well,
That's what my
Ernst
dad
started
said.
in 1922, and I quit in 1942, so we had paper routes there at least for 20 years.
Oh.
And I delivered papers on the horse for...
Did you?
All through high school, yeah. All through high school.
Well, tell about that. It seems like
Dad-
my dad said the horse knew when to stop. You could bundle up in the winter, and the horse
Yeah.
would stop at the right
Oh, I
place.
loved it.
Better than a bike, isn't it?
We didn't stop very often.
Your
No,
dad,
we just had
All-
papers
all
all folded and we'd throw them.
So when you went by,
I
Yeah.
still have people in Heber telling me they can remember when I delivered the paper.
Is that right?
Were y'all pretty accurate? Did you hit the porch every time?
Oh, no, not quite.
no, we didn't have to do like they do today.
We got pretty good, but not every time.
But Dan always collected for me, and this was great.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't like collecting, I know.
I didn't either.
But we would,
But Dan couldn't deliver, so he collected.
Oh. Well, tell me about the heart trouble. What caused that? Was it a childhood disease?
we don't know.
Heard it, I think that both Dan and Velma had scarlet fever or something.
And that maybe it was that, but you never knew for sure.
Didn't realize that Dan had it till he took a scout trip up to Timpanogos. And that's when it showed up on him, and he was never well after that trip.
Oh.
So since then, scouts have to have an examination before they
Oh.
they climb
Mm.
mountains and things.
You know,
So it was just the two that had a bad heart.
well, Floyd died fairly young with that heart.
Well, Howard had bypass surgery about 21 years ago.
But that's been a long time, and you're
Yeah.
doing fine. How about the war? Didn't a couple of the boys go to the First World War?
Lindsay and Floyd both went.
Did they?
That's another of my early recollection that I can see Floyd standing by. It seemed like it was a Christmas tree in our front room, and he was in his Army uniform, and that had to be in 1919 or 1920.
And just this,
One dim it isn't dim recollection, but I can remember that.
and just this last week or month or two, one of my cousins brought me some pictures that she'd been going through Aunt Gladys's. It was Pat Dude, and she'd been going through her mother's pictures and found these of Floyd. And one of the pictures is him in his uniform.
Oh. Where did they go? Did they go overseas?
Floyd did, Lynn didn't.
Well, Floyd didn't get to be in the war either, but he toured the battlefields afterwards.
He
Oh,
was assigned as a chauffeur for the generals, and so
and
he
so
said he'd be in the car and they'd come out, and he didn't know whether he'd end up in Switzerland or Germany or
just
what
go
he
where he
could
was
be.
going.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
so
he-
he didn't see a lot of bloody battles?
No, he didn't.
Neither
see
one
any.
did.
No.
Oh, that's
He
good.
brought back a sword. We
Oh,
had
I
it for
remember
years. I
that.
finally gave it to the family, so I don't know where it is now. But that was interesting to have. I told Bob I had this picture of Floyd in his uniform. It's just a cute picture.
What
And
was
I've
he?
got it all ready to send to Eloise.
Oh, did they fight with swords?
No. That was one of the generals. I mean, that was
Oh,
just a sign
A
of
dress
their,
thing.
yeah, dress thing. But Floyd told me, see, he lied about his age to get in the Army in the first place.
Oh, dear.
He joined earlier than he.
How old was he really?
He was about 17, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably 17. And when he was getting ready to come home, he went AWOL. Some pilot got him to take a ride in an airplane. And so he went off with him, and he came back. He was a little tardy getting back, so he said he spent the ocean crossing coming home in the brig.
Oh, dear.
I hadn't heard that.
He told me that.
Oh, dear.
I think there ought to be something about the weather, for as long as that weather, keeping track of the weather in this family.
Oh, yes.
Started.
Well,
How did he get started?
Grandpa Crook started that in 1874, about that, within a year or two. And he kept it on his own until about
Grandpa Crook.
Grandpa Crook. This is Grandpa.
The weather station you're talking about?
No, he just did it on his own. He didn't have a weather station or anything.
But
What
then
did he do?
about 1892 or something like this, the Weather Bureau was established, and they asked him to keep track of the weather for the federal government. It was a volunteer type thing, and he kept it for many years. And then our uncle Heber Crook, took it, and then he got to the point, this is in the 1940s, early 40s, I guess. He asked me if I would take it, but I wasn't settled down. I wasn't, and so I had mentioned my brother Lindsay, and he took it for several years, and then he gave it to our cousin Clark Crook, and now his son Jay Crook has that.
They're
So
still doing it.
so the weather has been kept record of since for about 120 years up there in Heber City in the Crook family.
Oh, what's involved in it?
Oh, they have, the federal government finally got, or they have thermometers, minimum and maximum thermometers and rain gauge, and so they can get the minimum temperature, the maximum temperature, and then they measure the rain when it rains, of course. And they just keep track of it.
I can remember a box. What did that big box have to do with the...
Well, it was a ventilated type box. It was on a stand, and
Yeah.
I don't know, the sides were not, they were just like a window here shade, you know. They weren't tight, but they would go out at an
Like
angle,
the
you know,
blinds, you know.
so that the wind could penetrate through, you know, so it wouldn't get hot or
The sun couldn't shine on the
thermometer.
thermometers.
Yeah, but that's,
Was that right at your house?
no, they had it out in the yard.
Oh, well, yeah, but it was in your yard.
No.
Oh,
And I'm still keeping track of the
Lindsay
weather.
had it in his yard.
yard. And before that,
Clark Crook
Uncle
had it on
Pete.
his.
okay, what did you do for fun when you were all together as a family? Did you work so hard you never had time for fun?
Our
Oh.
house was the center of entertainment. We had kids there pretty near all the time come in and play cards or do something. I remember playing, the people come there, we had Raymond Murdoch, wasn't it Raymond? Is that
Yeah.
his name? And,
What kind of games did you play with the
oh,
cards?
they just card games, and then we had,
Slough and rook. We
Rook.
played a lot of rook.
and mahjong, do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. The Bias boys introduced us to Mahjong. I don't know.
It's a Chinese game, but it was a lot of fun.
You had a pool table, didn't you? Don't I remember a pool
Oh,
table?
yeah, well, let me tell you about that pool table, and I never did enjoy the pool table after we got it. I guess I was about 12 years old or something, and I wanted this for Christmas, and I fussed, and I stewed, and I was complaining about it all the time. And then we got it, and I felt so bad because I had made such a fuss over it, and I never did really enjoy that pool table because I had made such a fuss
To get it.
how to get it, you know.
Wasn't it one that sit on the table?
No,
Wasn't
it had
it?
its
It
own,
had
it wasn't,
plate.
it wasn't very big.
Oh,
but it-
Where was it? I remember it in the kitchen.
Well, it folded out and you could put it away.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't as big as a regular pool table.
Oh, not the bars on as big as
But anyway, that's how we got the pool table, and that's how I never did enjoy it much because
We used to have fun in the summertime with games. We played run and hide and seek, and when we played hide and seek, we'd hide the whole block away. It wasn't just
In the
being
daytime.
we had a light on the post over at the corner of James Everett's, Kenny Corner or across the street from our place. And that was the gathering place for the evenings and nights.
So you had night games.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Kick the can, run,
Oh.
shoot, run,
Run, shoot,
hide and
run.
seek.
You know, I tried to teach my fourth graders some of those games, like kick the can, and they're just not interested. It really breaks my heart. They
Yeah,
just
right
want to go
now,
home and play
in
video
our
games.
backyard, we used to play kick the can.
I played kick the can, and
They just have things too easy now. They all kinds of games. Now it's computer games.
or marbles. Were you too?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
uh-huh.
Oh, I used to collect all the marbles I would win, I'd keep, and I had about maybe 200 or 300 marbles that I used to delight in being able to win a marble or two.
I bet you had at least that many.
Well, I probably had more than that, but I don't remember.
But that was a big thing. Every spring, our
Yeah.
overalls and these would be mudded.
And I remember my brother had bloody knuckles from playing.
Yeah, it was called knuckles.
My mother cut the fingers out of gloves and tried and get him to wear them because it was awful.
You can't do that.
Uh,
Yeah.
Girls played hopscotch.
Yes.
Jump rope.
And jump rope.
John jumped
And
around.
all those cute little jump rope poems. You remember all those? Mabel, set the table.
I don't remember that.
Don't forget the red hot. I always thought of Grandma because her name was Minnie Mabel. Every time we did Mabel.
Another thing that we played on the school grounds in the winter was fox and geese. You remember playing that?
Yes.
You just tromp a big circle and then some paths into the center and have to change places.
What did you do for lunch during the school year? Did you always go home?
Went home.
We were always close to school.
Did most of the
Well,
kids go home?
when I was in the 6th grade, it's when they first started the junior high school. And my 6th grade, we had to go to the North school. And I never missed one dinner. I had to come, it was about 10 blocks to our home. I either used roller skates or I must have run, I don't know, but in the wintertime. But I roller skated home never missed lunch.
Was that because you wanted to go home, or your mom didn't want to fix a lunch, or couldn't afford it, or what?
I don't know. I don't remember that, but I know that I did it. I never did take a lunch.
See, the beautiful thing about our location in Heber was that the church, the meeting house,
Uh-huh.
excuse me, was just across the road and down the block.
Uh-huh.
The grade school was just north of that. I mean, it was
Across the street.
across the street and a full block and 2 streets away. And the high school was catty-corner to that on the opposite side, so we were within 2 blocks of
Could
all of
you-
our schooling.
Yeah. Did you feel perfectly safe going anywhere in town? Did you ever worry about
Never
strangers
ever
or?
entered or fine.
Yeah.
When I was in 5th grade, the central school burned down. And that was quite an exciting time for all of us.
It
Was
was.
school in session?
No, it was at night, and Papa happened to be on the legislature, and he was in Salt Lake. And he had got a chance to have Mama come down to Salt Lake to be with him. And that's when the schoolhouse burned down, and I tell you, we was a bunch of scared kids.
I was,
Who was staying with you, if you?
I was in,
The older,
Oh, the older sister.
but except I was a younger one, and
yeah.
I don't where or Howard might have been to Salt Lake with him.
No, I don't think so.
But anyway, I was Bill and I were going to school. I was in the 1st grade, and we were living up to Aunt Meg Brown's.
Why?
Well, because Mom and Dad
Just
were,
because Mom and
Oh.
Dad was away. And
Oh, just for a few days.
yeah, and we went out to go to school, and the neighbor across the fence just hollered at us and told us that the school had burnt down. And we didn't believe him, but we walked down 2 or 3 blocks to where we could see, and I could see that there was only the front walls and the back walls were the only thing that was there. And I don't know what it did to me, but physically, I came home and I fussed and I stewed, and finally, Aunt Mag, in the afternoon after the kids got home from school, Aunt Mag just told me I better go home, and so I run down 2nd South, it was on about 4th East, and I run down there and down to the corner of 2nd South and Main Street on the opposite side, on the west side of the street, and I ducked my head and I ran, and I never ever looked at that house on the way, the school on the way home, and I run there and I come home and I and Grace, and I don't know, but they sure took care of me, and they put the blanket down behind the old stove in the living room and bundled me up and put me there, and that's what I remember about the old school. And then we went to school in the old 3rd Ward meeting house. They were finished 1st grade out there, and then
But I had to go clear up to North School.
Oh, and how far was
So I
that?
had that experience.
oh, did you? I didn't know that.
Didn't you? Oh, yeah. I was in 5th grade, and we had to go, and we used to go on roller skates if the weather was so we could, you know. We'd take our roller skates, and I can't remember about lunch. Mama must have given us lunch, because I didn't come home for
Was
lunch.
the biggest meal in the middle of the day or after school? You know, like,
Well, no, I guess supper was
supper the
our
biggest meal?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we always had breakfast, though. It was mostly hot cereal of some sort.
Tell us about your eyes. What happened? When did you first notice? Or who was Royal the first one?
Well,
No,
We
he was the
don't.
last one.
He was the last one to get,
well,
to have trouble with his eyes?
He was the oldest when it happened.
the first time I can remember about visual problems was when I was over to the 6th grade over in the North School. Our teacher, Elroy Jones, told us one time that we'd ought to be able to hold our book out here at 18, 20 inches, you know, out here to read. And I had mine up within about 6 or 8 inches to read. And that's the first knowledge I have that I might have had a visual problem. Of course, that particular time never bothered me any. That's
And
my
you didn't
first-
wonder why you couldn't? Not enough to,
Well, my vision was just going back on me then.
well now, but what do you mean Royal was the last one?
Well, he was the oldest.
He was the first one to,
He went through college and had got a master's degree.
Before his eyes started to fail?
Well, they were bothering him then, I'm sure.
He could still read.
But he could still read. See, he became county extension agent and.
Did he
worked
go
for
to the
one county.
doctor and did they help him at all? Or try and put glasses on him?
we,
Oh, yeah.
And William found out this when he was on his mission. He had to come home
Uh-huh.
because of his eyesight.
But they never at that time had a clue what it was. It was just a gradual.
When I was,
yeah, I had gradual thing.
when I was, I think I was a senior, maybe a junior in high school, I finally went down to Dr. Oak's down in Poland
Uh-huh.
and got an examination, and he gave me some glasses, and he said he didn't offer any diagnosis. You can't see, and I hope these glasses will help you from getting worse. That
No,
was
okay.
as much as we
Well,
got.
he told me, Dr. Oaks, when I went to him, he says, don't try to be a doctor or a lawyer, be something honest.
That's still true, I'm afraid.
And so, anyway, I got to the point when I was about 19 or 20 years old when I couldn't read the printed word anymore.
So what did you do?
Just got the way along the best way I could.
You never learned Braille or any
Well,
of that?
This must have been about 1936. I was going down to BYU. I got a semester, a quarter in down there, and then I got inquiring around, and Glenn Moulton, do you remember Glenn Moulton?
You bet.
He referred me to Rutherford's, I think it was Rushmore Optical in Salt Lake. So I hitchhiked down to there to that optical, and they looked at my eyes, and they went and spent a little time, and they come back and says, I've got an appointment with you, with Dr. McHugh, I think that was his name, to check your eyes out. And I went down, and he looked at my eyes and everything, and the only thing he told me, he says, I suggest, and this was about 1937, I think, he says, I suggest you get in touch with the services for the blind. In this term blindness, you know, I was not blind, and I was real upset about that. But it took me about 4 or 5 years of getting along with it, or kind of getting frustrated with it, and finally, Leroy Sweat, who lived up in Center Crook in a creek, and he took me down to a Future Farmers or something convention down in Salt Lake, and I asked Leroy if he wouldn't take me over to the Center for the Blind. And I went over there, and they were so glad to see me, you know, that I was interested in that, and they got my name and everything, and then they gave me a Braille, a grade 1 Braille instruction book, and I was really quite excited about this, you know, and learning Braille, and I took it home, and it never made sense to me, and I had Ida help me when, you know, to figure things out sometimes. They never gave me one bit of instruction as to Braille and its how it was written or how it was designed or anything. And I had one real hard struggle with Braille for, possibly 20 years. And finally I had one of my home teachers for the blind come and explain the Braille system to me. And it just made just a heck of a lot of difference to me. And I learned to write Braille. I probably learned more writing Braille than I did by feeling it. well, just last night I finished Second Nephi in Braille for the second time this past year or so. So I read maybe 20 words a minute, and that's including, and it came to pass, you know. People within pretty fast. But I was grateful that I do have a little bit of Braille knowledge.
Did you get, either one of you get real depressed or think life was not fair, or why was it you and not somebody else?
No, I never ever thought of that. I don't know about Howard.
How about you, Howard?
I'll tell the story of, we have a neighbor that built a home right south of us in St. George. And he called up that day, and he's had all kinds of problems. His eyes are going a little bit bad. He still drives and everything, and he's, I don't know, it just seems like he's always got problems. And he was going over the phone with me one day, and I said, I sure am grateful I've never had any trials. He said, you haven't had any trials. You're blind. But I didn't give it a thought. I don't have any problems. But I do have them, but
Depends on the attitude, isn't it?
That's right. It is.
Well, you concentrated on the good things. You married good women.
I think Howard ought
Yeah, well,
to tell a
for
little
sure.
bit about his seeing eye dogs too, the pleasure he's had from them.
You never considered getting a dog, Bob, huh?
He didn't hear you.
Bob,
What?
you never thought about getting a dog?
Well, just very vaguely. I was just thinking that it sure would be nice, but I think of the care that you have to take. But I just want to mention that I did work part of the blind program out in Wyoming for years. I went to college, graduated. I graduated the same year you did.
Yes.
1950 or
66.
66. 66. But anyway, I went to college there, and I got me a job working with the blind, the services for the blind, the Department of Education out in Wyoming. And so I had about 17 years or more experience out there working with visually impaired people. And my boss, Smith Shumway, he told us from time to time, he says, it's not what you've lost, but what you do with what you have left.
Isn't that a good saying?
It is.
So he lost his vision in World War II, and just shortly after D-Day over in France. Hand grenade went off, and he lost his eyes instantly, you know. But he went through, and through the help of the Veterans Administration, he went and got a master's degree, and he worked with Services to Blind there as director for a long time. And but he's still living and still quite active. But anyway, it's not what you've lost, but what you do with what you have left.
I remember at BYU how much the students loved Bob. The young kids just thought he was wonderful and really enjoyed you. And you enjoyed school, didn't you? You just had that look around. Every time I saw you, like, it was so fun to be there learning.
Well,
And it was a good example for me, because some of us make learning to be such a chore.
Well, learning is something which I have enjoyed, and
All of you have.
I got my talk from going back to the Center for the Blind. They took my name, and within maybe a month or so after I had been down there, here an older gentleman a blind fellow come to my house and took me out to his car and gave me a talking book machine. It was a great big old record player at that time. And he said, this is for blind. I said, I'm not blind. And finally, it only took me maybe 30 seconds or something to accept the machine. But this is the talking book program, which was federal. It's a federal program which was instituted, President Herbert Hoover signed that into, it was one of the last bills he ever signed while he was president, getting this talking book program for the blind going. And this was about 1942, and it's been one of the most wonderful things I've ever had, because I have been able to learn. I don't know, this year already I have listened. I don't know how much I learned, but I at least have read these books, and I've read, must be over 40 books this year that I have listened to.
Do you still turn them up so they're faster?
Say what?
You used to turn them up fast, so that now
Oh,
the rest
yeah,
of us
we
can,
have
you do
speed.
that too, Howard?
We have speed controls on them.
So it just sounds like gibberish to the rest of us.
Yep,
Not too much.
to me, if I have any novel or light reading, why, it's fast. If I have other things, why, I slow it down some, but always faster than normal. By the way, where's Carlton? If you want to know about the guide dog, is he just laying there?
He's right here.
Come here,
working.
Carlton. Carlton, come. Carlton, come on.
Who called about the dog?
We want to see Carlton.
Come here. He says you're not supposed to travel with him.
Talking about later.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
There we go.
Now you gotta be seen sit. Now stay up there. That's how it. Whoops.
Smile.
So how long have you had, between Luke and him, how many years have you had the dog?
Well, I got the first dog in January of 1991.
Oh, so you're a long time without one.
What was that?
You're a long time without one.
Yeah.
He had Luke a long time.
No.
No,
I haven't been with
You didn't have one for a while.
no, I've had the guide dog except for about 2 months.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I got him.
how many years were you blind without a
How
guide?
old were you before you got one?
I was 72, well, 71, going on 72.
What made you decide at that age?
Well, that's the reason I thought I'd bring this dog in, but he's not gonna be in the show, are you, Carl?
He's in.
Is he? But one day on my birthday, my son Gary called up on the phone and he said, I've been trying to figure out what I could give you that would really be good for you. He said, I think what you need is a guide dog. And so he sent to the Guide Dogs for the Blind in San Rafael, California, and got the information and sent it to me. And they sent a lady up to interview me, and she took me around, and they take the harness, and she walked out like the front end of the harness to see if I, and we walked a little ways and came back, and she said, okay, would you like to get a dog? And I don't know. I'm not one to make quick decisions. And she went out to get in the car, and Maureen said, why don't you get one? So I went and opened the door and yelled at her and said, yeah, I would do it. And so they signed me up, and the earliest they could get in was in January of 1991. And so I went down and was introduced to Luke.
And how long did you have Luke?
Almost 7 years. He died in November. It would have been 7 years in January. He died of kidney failure, or at least we put him to sleep. I might tell you what I did with him. I had him cremated, And I've heard these stories about all the good things that are in it, and I didn't know what to do with it when I got it. And they charged me $20 to save his ashes, and they brought it in a gallon Ziploc bag. Paid $20. I thought it'd be in some kind of an urn or something.
Yeah, we'll learn.
Oh, at least a nice box.
The jar or something.
So anyway, I thought about it, and I have a little raised vegetable garden. They tell me all of the good stuff that's in there, so I took it and scattered it over about a 4-foot square area, and then I took his collar that I had and nailed it on the edge of the bed. So,
Oh, how nice.
so I know where he is. I was the oldest one in the class when I got Luke, and I was definitely the oldest one when I got Carlton.
Oh, you did great. Okay, I think you're all probably tired of talking. Can I just ask you a word of wisdom or something that you'd like, your philosophy of life or something like that? What do you think really matters in this world?
Well, there's one thing. Teddy Roosevelt, I'm reading an autobiography of him, and it's similar to what I mentioned before. And Teddy Roosevelt says, do the best you can with what you've got.
And you've done that. And I bet it feels good, doesn't it?
And of course, the gospel is really a big part in our lives, and keeping the commandments and following the counsel and direction of our leaders of our church. It's just very important.
Okay, Ida. Thank you, Bob. Ida.
No, I'm not good at words.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. But I think to have faith and to listen to our prophets and things in my life is one of the most important things. And I remember Mom and Dad, that I don't remember them telling us just right out or anything, but the way they lived and all, I'm sure had an influence on my life. And I do love the gospel and working in the church. And I've been studying the scriptures more lately too, and I'm enjoying that. Not only just reading, but kind of researching too, and looking up the things it tells us, and that's helping me a lot.
Oh, that's great. You've had a hard life, and really always seen the bright side. You've been a real inspiration to
That's
all
one
of us.
thing that I don't like to dwell on things, and I try to see the best part of the times in my life when I had a hard time and everything, but I can think of a lot of good things about my marriage too, and I still love Harold, and I've had him sealed, or had his work done in the temple.
Well, he won't have those problems on the other
No.
side. That's nice. Okay, Howard.
Well, the one thing that has been real close to me this past 2 or 3 days is family. You suggest that I give that little thing. I made that little poem a part of our family. I started just a year or so ago, but every time my family gets together, I have to recite this. There's a special kind of closeness that only families know. It begins with childhood trust, then deepens as you grow. There's a special kind of happiness in sharing little things, the laughter, smiles, and quiet talk that daily living brings. There's a special kind of comfort in knowing your family's there, to back you up, to cheer you up, to understand and care. Of all the treasures life may bring, your family means the most. And whether near or far apart, that love will hold you close.
Great.
And that is true with the part of the family we have right here. And it's especially true with family that we have. And I know that it's the principles of the gospel of Jesus Christ that makes us happy. In fact, you know, the prophet Joseph Smith said, all those that keep the commandments of God are blessed in all things and will bring peace and joy. And then he went on to say, God never has and never will institute an ordinance or give a commandment to his people that is not calculated by its very nature to bring that happiness that he designed. And I think this is one of the real beautiful parts of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I must say that of all things, the woman I married means just about everything.
Thank you. That was
And
wonderful.
I just want to, I was trying to interrupt Howard there, but I wanted to mention that too, that death is a big part in my life, and I just want her to know and want the rest of you to know that I sure love her and I love her for what she does for me.
I remember Grandma mentioning how grateful she was for the women that her boys married.
That's just what I was going to say. I've always been so thrilled with my sister-in-laws because they have sure done a great job in helping my brothers.
You know, that's one thing that Dad said. He came out to town one time and visited with Royal and me. And he came and said, I just want you to know what wonderful women you married. It sure is true.
I'll say it is.
And you know, Grandpa Crook wasn't a flowery person, that he came to me and he said, Lorene, I just want you to know that I'm glad Howard married you. And that, he couldn't have said anything. It would have meant more to me.
We all are.
I'll say we are.
But there's only one other thing I would like Howard to tell about our experience moving to Idaho.
Well, we debated a great deal about doing. I'd farmed all my life, and I was on the farm in Fallon, and we looked in Cary, Idaho, at a farm that was for sale. One of my friends said that there was one there, and we went up and looked at it, and we put down, I think, $500 earnest money on the farm. And then we went home, and Marie was quite concerned because Cary is totally isolated. It's 50 miles from any place where there were doctors or anything like that. But prior to that, the real estate agent was there, and I said, there's one thing that I wish you had here, and that's a greenhouse. I said, I have got a son that is crazy about growing things, greenhouses. And he said, well, why don't I sell you one then? And it happened that he had the Snake River Nursery for sale in Idaho Falls. And when Marie made this remark and we got thinking about it, we gave up the $500 earnest money and contacted them and came to Idaho Falls to look at the Snake River Nursery, and we ended up buying it. And we had some rough times there financially, but we have never regretted having made the move. It's been, it was a good thing. And we know that the Lord blessed us. In fact, after the first year that we were there, I went in with a few $1,000 at the end of the first season, a few $1,000s were gone. I hadn't made a payment on the greenhouse, on the property. And I didn't know what would happen. I went to the bank to get a loan to go another year, operating loan. And I went in, and the guy, when we were through, I paid the bank off, and I paid our major supplier, Porter Walton Company, what we owed them. But we didn't have any money left. But I went to the bank, and I said I wanted some operating money. He said, how much do you need? I told him. He said, okay. He didn't ask for a profit and loss or earnings statement, financial statement, anything. He just said, okay, give it to you. So I went to work in the spud warehouse, and I earned enough money to keep groceries on the table and whatnot, but that one thing probably saved our bacon. Never got any loans after that without evidence of things. So the guy that did that, I don't know where he is, but he's sure.
Well, he knew you were an honest man, that's all they need.
Actually, they
That's all they
really
used
didn't
to
even
be.
know it. And Howard and I have talked about this and thought about it so many times since. We don't even know what happened that year. You know, we didn't have any income really. And yet of course we went up there with a lot of canned food and a freezer full of meat, and we had a new car that was paid for, you know, and we were all, but we don't know what happened that year, but we got through it, and we never, you know. So the Lord just really blessed us.
But I was gonna say, that's where the Lord steps in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, and Grace was always so glad to have you. I think she was always isolated from her family. That was the first time in her whole marriage, I think, that she had family close.
And she was Grandma to Teresa and Christine.
Oh, yeah.
Christine was just telling me the other day, she says, Mom, you know, I don't have one single thing from Aunt Grace, and I feel bad.
Oh, dear, I got some things. We'll find her some things.
I was gonna say, I'll have to think about that, Rudy.
Yeah, because what I have is kind of junky, but sometimes you don't care
Well,
as long as it's there.
That's the thing. If it isn't the beauty or the value, monetary value.
Well, Teresa went up, you know, how Alan was. He just wanted to get rid of everything.
Yeah.
And we wanted him to keep some of this stuff, but he just was lost. He didn't know what to do. And anyway, Teresa and I ended up one day, and so he gave Teresa 2 or 3 things, and she says, Teresa's got some stuff, and I didn't give anything. But I said, well, you can have what I've got. I've got a little Hummel that Alan gave me that was hers. And I said, that'll be yours.
I have that little set of green dessert dishes. Do you remember those? Grandma Crook had
yeah.
I'll give you a couple of those. Would you like that?
Sure.
I'll just have to look. I know I've got some things that Grace made, you know, whatever that are framed in that thing.
Oh, the needle point.
Yeah.
She did a lot of that.
She did a lot of that.
I've got a coat of braces that's hanging in my closet there with a foot thing around it.
Okay, well, any more words of wisdom before we turn this off? We've heard a lot. I think it's been great.
Does that video go this long?
Yeah, it's, right now you're at 59 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay, Beth, is there anything you'd like Bob to tell about that you can think of?
Hey, you get up here.
Everything I was
You
gonna say, they
hey,
talk about how great we are.
I can't see
But
that.
I can turn that back, and how grateful I am to him. He's been a leader of our home. He's been a priesthood holder. The kids still come to him for advice. His grandchildren adore him. And so it's not all us. We have wonderful husbands, you know, that makes the thing too. And I don't feel like I've done anything great, but to me, that's not an important part.
Well, and whether they can see or not, it's a small part of a person.
Exactly.
Well, I tell you, I've sure been proud of them, what they've accomplished.
Yeah.
I really have. I just brag about them all the time.
And I just want you to know that I sure do love my, I used to call her big sister, but she's little now. But anyway, I sure do love Ida, and I try to keep in touch with her quite regularly.
Up until the past year, I've always bragged about my 87-year-old sister that was still working for me.
That was amazing, it really is. Well, you're a great family, we appreciate this. I know that you've been uncomfortable, but it really is going to mean a lot to all of us, and we thank you.
I hope I worked all right.
Oh, I do too, it may not. We may
Really
be back.
excited that you have done this. This is the first time Ida and Howard and I have been together for, I don't know, how long, many years has it been?
Oh, not too long, you were all down to St. George together.
Oh, we were down there just for a few hours
Nice year to
sometimes.
year
But anyway,
reunion,
I,
anniversary, I mean.
Are we gonna have access to this?
You bet, we'll make sure
Yeah,
y'all
we'll
get
get you
one.
a copy.
Thank you
What's
very
the
much.
balcony there? Just a bit?
I've got something over here that I want you to see if you remember.
You probably hate this, Kathleen.
I don't think so.
Don't you think we're through?
And this isn't the best of tape recorders to record these
We'll
on.
record this.
I think I've got this to where it,
Oh.
Listen. You're helping senior, Kathleen.
Is it in primary or just my
Yeah,
kids?
it is. It's Bob and our family and you and your family.
In fact, with me or something? Oh my goodness. Well, good. Am I playing the piano?
You're singing.
Yeah. There it
I
is.
can hear my voice shaking because I was cry when I sing. I hate that. Oh, thank you. Is Rita?
Where was this, Kathleen?
How fun.
this,
Well, that was nice to have some music and that.
this,
Oh, you were supposed to turn
this
it
was,
off.
and Al and Kathleen are up in Rollins, and I think, you played the piano, didn't you?
No, she sang with us that
Oh,
day.
was, but.
She did play the piano, the organ there.
Mother, which ones of the kids? There was Marie and Susan and Christine.
I can't remember. how many.
Marie and Susan and Christine, and Karen was born there.
We,
And,
they asked us to sing in sacrament meeting. We don't have, our singing voices weren't, so we asked Kathleen and her family to sing with us, so we got together and sang at the sacrament meeting.
it was Karma.
Karma and Karen,
I don't think.
or Karma and Neil,
Reed.
I could hear Neil's voice, so.
Uh-huh.
But Reed and probably, no, Reed and Karma definitely were there,
And Karen.
and
But
Karen.
anyway,
The others were married, they're
And
not.
Karen has a marvelous singing voice
Oh,
now.
I've heard that.
but anyway, I don't know whether you remembered that or not, but I sure do.
Well, that's fun. You was, I don't think other people realize how beloved you were in that ward. He was the greeter. Oh, everybody loved him so much. And I used to think he sees and welcomes more people than people who can see. He found everybody, didn't he? And welcomed them to church and made it feel so good. Everybody.
Well,
I bet they were sad when you left, both of you.
well, we were sad when you left.
Oh.
I remember something, Kathleen, you told me once that I have never forgotten.
Oh, what?
I used to tend your kids, you know, sometimes.
Oh, all the time.
You told me once that your kids came home and said they just love to come to my place. I had a singing house. That was the term they used. She said she has a singing house.
Oh.
I have no idea what that singing house is all about.
Well, I think they just felt the goodness in there. They felt the love. Whether there was just physical singing or not, they felt acceptance and
Where,
good things.
where are the girls now? Where's Marie? She's the oldest one, isn't she?
She's in Czechoslovakia.
In Czechia. What's she
Yeah.
doing there?
Bowling bought a plant, airplane plant there, so her husband's over there with a crew trying to to help it make money. It's never made money before. So she's over there with her kids, and it's really hard. She says the language, they'll be there 2 years, and people have tried to learn the language in a couple of years, and you really can't. It's too complicated. No alphabet, you know. The alphabet's kind of like the Russian alphabet. And she says there are people there that have taken lessons and tried hard for 5 years and still can't. So they're not really trying hard to learn the language. So it's hard because everywhere they go, they can't understand anybody or what they say, but they still love it. There's a castle on the hill that they can see out of their front window. And,
What's the living conditions?
As of right now, with the war going on.
They have. It's not really affecting them.
they have a real nice house.
They have a house. In fact, they have a big house.
And Boeing is giving them both a car, leasing a car for each of them, and the kids go to a private school.
Oh,
And I think they have everything they need. And
But
but
they're
she
not
says
in
you
the
never
war zone.
see children and people
They're
don't
in
smile.
Czechoslovakia.
They're in Czechoslovakia. Yugoslavia is
Oh,
quite a ways away. Czechoslovakia is one of the NATO nations. And she
okay.
hasn't heard
It wasn't
anything
too far away.
negative.
How long
But,
have they been there?
She says when she takes her boys anywhere, the people just kind of frown at them like they wish they weren't around because they're too much trouble.
oh,
She says Americans like kids, but and she says that life's been hard for them. They've never been free, and they were always under the communist rule for so long that they really haven't had very hopeful lives, and things aren't going all that great yet. So they're just not real happy people. They're nice enough, but they're just kind of
How old are
grim.
her children?
She's only been there about 6 months, and they're going to be there another year and a half, but they're not sorry. It's a real adventure, really. Let's see, Brad's in the 5th grade, and then they have one in 3rd, and then a preschooler.
And they have a special school for them.
And it's an English school, yeah. They go to Switzerland in the winter, and it's one of those fancy private schools. So
What about Christine?
Christine is her husband owns Taco Time in Rexburg still.
Yeah, well,
And
okay.
they
They
live
still
there.
have the Taco Bell or something?
Taco Time now. They've redone it. They've
Taco
rebuilt it.
Bell just came, so they're kind of worried.
oh,
But they're doing fine. Brian's a real good provider. He's the only son-in-law we have that doesn't have a college education. He's got more money than the rest, so you never know, do you? Let's see. Susan's husband just got his PhD last
June.
June.
No.
Well,
June
it was in May,
May.
wasn't it? And they're in St. Louis. He works for an insurance company as, what?
Statistician.
He's he's senior statistician for, anyway, I can't even tell you anything about what he does because I don't understand statistics. Karen is married, lives in Salt Lake, and has 2
Oh,
little
she lives
kids.
in Salt Lake, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her husband works for Smith as an accountant.
The grocery store, Smith's?
Yeah, but Fred Meyer bought Smith, so now he works for Fred Meyer, and then somebody bought
Fred
them.
Meyer bought Smith.
Yeah, and then somebody bought them out. A big food chain from Arizona, as a matter of fact, bought them out. I think it was Arizona, wasn't
That
it?
seems to be the way things go nowadays. They're just buying each other out. They're really kind of
Like
scary.
Zion's Bank and First Security going together now.
Who?
Zion's and
Oh.
First
Yeah.
Security.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Just in the last 2 nights, they've said that on
It's been the last couple of days.
James has been in Boise.
James is in Boise he's working for the county in computers, and he's going to school nights, getting a,
Yeah, he'll finish up in the year at
Yeah.
Boise State. Mhm.
he's married now.
And he wants to, what he wants to do is try and get in, go back to the University of Wisconsin, which is supposed to be the best school in computer technology or computer, whatever he's doing. He's kind of interested in artificial intelligence part of it, which is,
He's ought to talk to you about that. It's really interesting.
So-
They're teaching the computers. They're reaching a point where the computers are actually
yeah.
reasoning like the human brain.
Yeah.
It's real fascinating.
Yeah,
They don't just do what you tell them anymore. They seem to be able to.
So
They can do a
things
few other
faster
things.
than the human brain.
Oh.
yeah, oh yeah,
Far.
yeah.
And let's see, Carol is in Provo. She's going to start working on her master's. She just got back from a mission in Brazil. And David just got back from a mission in Nova Scotia. And he's
He's
still
a-
living at home.
He's living at home and going to Rick's. He's just got his first college B, so he's disappointed.
Yeah, I'm sure proud of the Crooks. I just think they're real smart people. I was just telling these guys, when they blessed the baby, I thought I can't be a crook. In the first place, I'm too big. In the second place, I'm just not as sweet as you are. But
Oh,
I cry a lot. Does that count?
we sure do love you anyway.
Well, we'll get you a copy of this. If you don't, it'll be because it didn't work. And we'll have to,
Well,
you'll
it says
call
it
me
works,
if you're
so.
ever together again. And
Okay.
if you don't get one, give me
You
a
can
buzz.
review it, though, can't you, or can you? Or you know?
Yeah, I can.
You can what?
But I don't know how.
That's the way I am with my computer. I can do this, but I don't know how. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Looking over my shoulder. They don't want
how to do it. How many minutes do we have on this?
I know. I
Sure.
had to hit the do.
And everybody that comes to help you out says, oh, you don't want this, let's put it on this.
Yeah, that's what they do. They say,
Down and then
Oh, you like this way better.
yeah, this way better. And you
You
say,
wanna say no?
wait a minute, what did you do with your hands there? Why are you saying that?
And I want to write down every little thing. Click this, click that. And James was just saying, you have to understand how a computer works, and then you don't have to write down the steps, because you just know
That's
the
what Johnny says,
function.
don't write them down or you won't remember them. Because everybody I've known that writes them down, they never do catch on to the computer.
Yeah, the thing says women memorize the steps. Men, both, think of the process.
Yeah.
I just read an article in the U.S. News and World Report just yesterday. It's the very last issue, and it says that women's minds have better memories than men.
But it's rote. I don't think it's reasoning, right? You guys are better at reasoning. Well, let's hear about your families. And then we
I
got to
was
get out
just
of
going
here.
to tell you about Grace's Jim.
Oh, okay.
You
Oh,
know, how he comes to my house at least once a week.
still.
Good.
Still, he and Mickey.
Mhm.
And
They live in
he
Vernon.
has to go into Salt Lake to do some work on the business that he's in, on computers.
And how's that going? You struggled for so long.
Yeah, but I think he's doing pretty good now. I really do.
Now, there's the guy that knew about computers before anybody even knew what they
Yeah.
were.
He worked on computers when we were down at BYU.
When we didn't even know what they were, and I just always felt bad he didn't get in on the ground floor. He had that strange little personality that didn't click, but I think he knew more than anybody I ever knew way back when.
Well, I'm glad to report that he and Mickey get along just beautifully. They
He's a
just
sweet
really are
person.
cute together, and they work in the temple, together, and they have
So
jobs
they have a
in
temple
church,
in Vernal.
and
They have what?
They live in Vernal. They
Uh-huh.
have a home in Vernal.
What about little Alan? Is he?
I wish I could get in touch with him. He's back east where his mother is now.
Is he not
And
going to church
I
anymore?
have told Jim to tell him to at least just write me a card or something. I'd like to keep in touch with him, but I sure can't. And Jim says, we don't hear much from him either. So.
And he's not going to church anymore?
Well, Jim's not sure, but if he's back there with his mother, he probably is.
Probably isn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I sure feel bad. I just wanted so
Okay.
bad to keep in touch with him, and
And you know, Aunt Grace was so good to those kids.
Oh,
Hers?
I know it.
They weren't even her grandchildren.
Yeah.
Down every summer, and how she could be so hateful, I don't know. Try not to think about it. Like Scarlett O'Hara.
but I bet Jim's been to my place since I've been up here. He knows where the key is, and they just come.
Does he come, what's her name, Mickey? Is that her name? Does she come with him?
Oh, quite often, and I really like Mickey. She's real cute.
That's
So
neat.
Do you
I'm
have
glad
to
he's
feed him
finding-
every time they come?
Huh?
Do you have to fix them a dinner and?
No, I try to have cookies and
Odds and ends, but you know, I
rice
hope
balls
not.
and things like that.
I worry about that a little bit, because he called me once and told me he came real often, and I thought, well, I
No,
hope he
they-
doesn't make her cook.
They
And they're not very
always
smart
have-
sometimes.
Have something to do and they have, if they get up early in the morning, they get up and don't even wake me up most times.
So they're not any trouble. Well, he
Oh,
sure
no.
loves you, always has.
No, he calls it Ida's Motel.
Oh, let's see, and the little baby, tell us about that.
Oh, well, she's gained weight, thank goodness. I talked to Karen last night. She weighed 2 pounds and 11 ounces when she was born, and she's had several kind of bad days that she's had respiratory
Yeah,
problems
since she's so tiny.
and things. And
She weighs,
but now she weighs 13 pounds.
how many?
3 pounds.
3 pounds and 14 ounces.
That's quite a bit.
Yes, I'll
That's
say,
quite a
Karen
bit.
was just thrilled to death.
Well, my Susan had one like that, a little teeny one.
Yeah.
And it's scary. She weighed 2 pounds, but,
Get Howard to get up and go.
Susan, right?
Oh,
She never could get pregnant and finally did, and there was just something wrong. The doctor said nature did not want you two to have children because you seemed to be allergic to each other or something. So the baby was way early, but she's fine. Anyway, those
She
big,
able to get her home quite soon? Or?
I can't remember. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks. But they take such good care of them in those
Well,
big
that's
nurseries.
what I
was
said.
just
Karen
amazed.
says she's $1 million baby, but she's worth it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this one was too.
That's the way Wendy and Stan have, ever since they've been married, they've been trying to get pregnant. They've
and that's
been
Dawn
everything you
and
can.
Yeah.
Karen's only chance to be grandparents.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's really.
But you know, I would go in there and I'd say, oh, do you think our baby will make it? And they'd laugh at me. They say there's dozens that are worse off than yours. Yours is just fine.
We've got
And I
some
think-
videos of Emily from the time she was born until about May the 4th.
How old is she?
April 27th was when she was born.
So she's over 100 old. Still in the hospital.
And she will be till around the 1st of July anyway.
We better get a charge on Beth's
You
kids
know, they're
too.
so perfect, those little teeny babies. I just, I flew
They've
there.
got pictures of her laying against Wendy and Stan's chest, when they've been able to hold her. And
But I thought the veins would stick out and they'd be bald, and I thought they'd look like they do in the womb, just underdeveloped. But Susan said the body knows something's going wrong when the placenta cuts
these
start cutting
video
out.
shows what a change there is in her. The last one, she was filled out so much better.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen a cute baby like a premature baby because
No.
they're just teeny, but they're like exactly. And they get these cute little teeny clothes. They're really fun.
Now, I don't get everything, my ears don't fit.
Oh,
You've got a granddaughter that was pre,
Susan, yeah. Susan, you remember the third one? Do you remember Susan?
Oh, yes, I remember.
They couldn't get pregnant for a long, long time, and they finally did one of these heroic things where you take this and put it in the dish and then put it back in the mom. And the doctor said that there was something, there's just some little tangle within their body that doesn't get along with each other. So, and then she got pregnant just by accident. They said she never would, that she miscarried right away. So there's something wrong there. So we hope they can have just one more.
Got a niece that hadn't been able to have children for so long, and she finally got pregnant. She was carrying triplets.
Oh,
my goodness.
She took that drug? Oh, how?
No, I don't know whether she took anything or not.
Do you know there's a lot of those. In our little country school, we have a set of quintuplets instead of triplets.
Oh,
I mean, in the olden days, you'd never see that.
Oh, one of my